This is the Construction Leading Edge podcast from constructionleadingedge.com and constructionbusinessaccelerator.com. My name is Todd DeWalt. It's my job to help you, the construction business owner and leader, eliminate chaos, maximize revenue. Today, I'm going to be answering some questions that I've received. We're going to be talking about mindset. How do you actually practically improve your mindset? What are some things you can do? I'm also going to give you one of my number one most powerful strategies for business development. And then we're going to talk about systems and processes. I'll talk about one thing that is going to make your life so much simpler as it pertains to putting systems and processes into place. A couple of resources I want to make sure you know about. The first one is FieldChat. It is the ultimate text messaging platform designed specifically for construction sites. So if you run a construction team or you manage a project or you manage a business, you know it's really about the flow of information. And actually, maybe you haven't really thought about it this way, but your job as a construction leader is to broker information, to get the right information to the right people at the right time, at the right level of detail, whether that's client, architect, engineer, designer, subcontractor, foreman, guy or gal swinging the hammer. Your job is to make sure that everybody has the information that they need when they need it. So that's what FieldChat is going to do for you. It's going to help you upgrade your communication. If you're using text messaging already, super simple to implement. And what it's going to do for you is it's going to give you the ability to track and organize your text messages, okay? So what that means for you, that's what it's going to do for you, but what it means for you is less rework. It's going to save you a lot of headache. It's going to better position you if there's ever any sort of dispute, and it's going to accelerate progress and reduce mistakes, and to reduce one of my least favorite things, chaos. Okay, it's going to eliminate, or at least dramatically reduce chaos. So if that's not good enough news, here's some other really good news. FieldChat is making a special offer available to you, the Construction Leading Edge podcast listener. You can get 15% off. All you have to do is go to fieldchat.com/edge, grab your account, get 15% off. And even better news is it may be free for you. But go to fieldchat.com/edge and start getting your communication under control. The other thing I want to tell you about is something I'm really excited about. This is my live 2-day event called The Advance. Now, some people will ask, well, why is it called an advance? Well, some people would call this like a retreat, a company retreat, but I don't like the idea of retreating. I don't like the idea of going backwards. So I call it The Advance. We're going to go forward. It's a 2-day event in Lexington, Kentucky, at least the next one. If you're listening to this before October 17th of 2019, the next one is in Lexington, Kentucky, October 17th and 18th, 2 days of you getting away from your business so you can get ahead of your business. Getting out of the weeds, getting out of the ditch, getting up at the 10,000-foot view so you can operate strategically. And some people are asking, well, what am I going to get out of this? Well, I'll tell you, what's really in it for you is getting away from your business so you can get ahead of your business. Number 2 is developing relationships with like-minded, smart, generous construction business owners just like you. The relationships you're going to develop when you come to the advance are going to be invaluable to you. There are people who have met at the advance live events and they are like best friends. They talk on a constant basis now, sharing ideas, sharing wins, sharing challenges. The relationships are really, really powerful. And then as far as the content goes, here's what you're going to get. You're going to uncover some of the hidden mindset blocks, the things that are in your blind spot that are holding you back. You're going to get to the real root causes of the problems that you're dealing with. You're going to learn strategies that will help you sell work at higher margins. Okay? Stop competing on price. You're going to learn you're going to walk away from the advance with really practical things you can do, words you can say when you talk to a client, processes you can use that will help you sell work at higher margins so you don't have to compete on price. You're also going to have tools to eliminate chaos in your business, streamline your operations, make your field crews more productive, and then you'll also walk away with some really practical things you can do to systematize your business. All of that, plus relationships, plus we're going to have just a hell of a good time for a couple of days in Lexington, Kentucky, October 17th and 18th. You can get all the details, but you need to hurry. This is coming up soon. It's going to sell out. Go to constructionbusinessaccelerator.com/advance. Find out all the details. You can watch some video testimonials of people who came to the last one, find out what they would tell you and why they would tell you you need to come. But go to constructionbusinessaccelerator.com/advance before they are gone. All right, now let's talk about some questions, some of the common questions that I get from you folks. And if you have questions that I happen to not answer today, then send them to me. Send me an email, todd@constructionleadingedge.com, and maybe I'll answer them in the future. So the first question is about mindset. All right, here's the deal. The game is won or lost between your ears, okay? You can have, some of you may be thinking, man, I just need this one piece of information. I need this strategy. I need the right tactic. I need the right script, the right software, whatever. And that is just, you're barking up the wrong tree, all right? Your problem is not out there, all right? Your problem is in here. And you need to really start with your mindset, because if your mindset is not right, then no amount of tactics, strategies, software tools, networking, etc. is going to work, because you will continue to sabotage yourself and hold yourself back until you fix that. So what is my number one 80-20 piece of advice for upgrading your mindset? That's a good question. So first of all, what am I talking about 80-20? Well, here's the deal. 80% of your results come from 20% of your inputs. All right. So I'm a big 80-20 guy. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's an episode titled The Unimportance of Practically Everything You Do that talks about the 80-20 principle, or the Pareto principle. So what's the 80-20 on mindset? And here's really the question that I got. What can I do practically to improve my mindset? How do I actually apply this stuff? What are some practical things I can do to improve my mindset? And my number one piece of advice is simply this: practice gratitude. Let me say that again. Practice gratitude. Become a practitioner of gratitude. Now, maybe that sounds kind of touchy-feely, a little fluffy. Maybe it's a little too fluffy for you, the grizzled, tough construction person, but just listen, hear me out. Okay, this has changed my life, all right? I'm a longtime construction guy. I've stomped around in the mud for years and managed hundreds of millions of dollars of projects, and I'm telling you, this changed my life. That's why it's my number one piece of advice when it comes to upgrading your mindset. So what am I talking about with gratitude? Let me give you some really practical ways. Then we'll talk about why gratitude actually works. So two different buckets, or two different ways you can use gratitude. Number one is personally. My advice for you is to spend a few minutes every day writing down what you're grateful for. What do you appreciate? Take 3 minutes, 30 seconds, whatever it is, but start every day with gratitude. What are some things you're thankful for? And if you look hard enough, you can find something you're grateful for, right? If you can see, or you can breathe, or if you can hold a pen, or you can type, or you have a phone, or you have a home, you have electricity, there's something you can be grateful for. So spend some time every day focusing on what you are grateful for. What do you appreciate? You may have to look a little bit harder at first, because if you're like a lot of construction folks, you have more of a negative approach. You're more of an auditor. You have a fine-tuned ability to find the negative, what's wrong. And I actually I was at a meeting once with a business owner who said, no, we don't need to talk about what's going right. We need to focus on what's going wrong. And yeah, there's some truth to that. We need to find out what's going wrong so we can fix it. But overlooking the things that are going right is a problem. This will change your life, and I'll tell you in a minute how it'll change your team as well. So spend some time one-on-one with yourself, gratitude. Call it a gratitude journal, whatever you want to call it, but spend 3 minutes a day writing things that you are grateful for. And then practice gratitude toward other people as well. Make this part of your practice. So what does that look like? When you respond to an email, start by saying, hey, thank you for contacting me. If it's an employee, subcontractor, vendor, client, whatever, even if they're sending you bad news, start by saying thank you. When you're talking to people on the phone, say thank you. When you are walking a job site, let's say if you're in a leadership position, you're walking a job site, catch people doing things right. Thank people. Find something to thank somebody for. Find something that you appreciate. Hey, I like the way you did that. When somebody gives you something that is 80% wrong, start by showing appreciation for the 20% that is right. So in emails, phone calls, meetings, when somebody comes to a meeting, if you're having a coordination meeting, thank everybody for coming. Hey, thanks for making time. Thanks for investing your time. Thanks for that. If somebody asks a question, maybe you don't like the question, but say, hey, thank you. That's a good question. We really need to answer that. Thank you for bringing that up. Again, if somebody brings you bad news, thank them. You may not be happy about what happened, but you damn sure better be happy that somebody had the nerve to tell you that it happened. You do not want to have a culture of people hiding mistakes, okay? And that's what happens when you shoot the messenger. So thank people. Hey, thank you for letting me know this was broken down. Thank you for letting me know the bank account is low. Thank you for letting me know we need to solve this. But thank people. Be appreciative. Be grateful, even when there's bad news. So why? Why do we do this? Well, on a really practical level, it is impossible for your brain to be grateful and angry at the same time. It is impossible to be grateful and anxious. It is impossible to be grateful and afraid, fearful, or frustrated at the same time. Okay? So when you are grateful for something, it actually begins to change your brain chemistry. And if you do it long enough, it will rewire your brain. You'll begin to see the positive. And then, if you understand things at a little bit higher level, the things that you focus on will begin to multiply. So whatever you focus on is what you're going to get more of. Think about that. Now, maybe that sounds a little bit woo-woo. You're like, law of attraction, I don't know about that. Well, I'm telling you, it works. And even if you're not sure if it works or not, what if you're wrong? What if it does work? Think about all the time you spend focusing on the negative, and what do you get? More negative, more mistakes. What if it is true? So my advice to you would be, do an experiment. Do a 30-day experiment of gratitude and see what happens. I can tell you from my experience and a lot of the people I work with, when you become a practitioner of gratitude, it will change your life. You'll begin to see more positive, see less negative, and then it will actually change the things that begin to appear in your life, okay? The other thing it will do is, regardless of what level in the organization you're at, when you become a practitioner of gratitude, it will elevate your status, because people ascribe high status to people who are appreciative and grateful. So the person that walks into a meeting, hey, thank you for coming. Hey, thank you. Hey, that's a great question. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for delivering that report. That sort of behavior is associated with people of a high status. So when you act like that, people will assume that you operate at a high level. And actually you do. That is operating at a high level. That's what leaders do. And then, just at a really basic level, people will like you. And people want to do business with people they like. People like to be thanked. Don't you like to be thanked? Don't you like people to show appreciation? Don't you like when a general contractor or a client or your boss or anybody says thank you? It just feels good. It's the right thing to do. I'm telling you, there's a better way to operate. There's a better way to operate that will change the way you think. It will change the way your people operate. It will change the culture of your team, your organization, your entire company. And it starts with gratitude. So become a practitioner of gratitude. That is my number one piece of advice to change your mindset on a really practical level. That answers the question, what do I do? What do I got to do to change my mindset? Practice gratitude. All right, now let's talk about business development. I get this question a lot. Todd, I want to get into commercial work, or I want to set up a new office in a new geography. I want to go into a new line of business, a new industry, a new sector, a new geography. How do I get started? Should I buy Facebook ads? Should I sign up for Angie's List? Should I join a trade organization? Should I do networking? Should I do cold calling? What should I do? Here's my advice. And actually, I heard a story that illustrates this beautifully. And I heard this story this morning, as a matter of fact, and if you follow me on LinkedIn, you'll see me do this occasionally. It's pretty subtle, but if you follow me on LinkedIn, you'll see me do this. But here's what I heard on the radio. Miranda Lambert is a country music singer, and she was in town for a concert this past weekend in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is the city I live close to. And this morning on the radio, I listened to a country radio station, and the DJ's name is Big Dave. And Big Dave was super excited because he had spoken with Miranda Lambert a couple of months ago, had her on the show, and he asked her, hey, when you're in town next, can you play this song, some obscure song? And he kind of forgot about it. Well, at the concert this past weekend, a couple of months after Dave had made this request, Miranda Lambert sang that song that Big Dave requested. And then at the end, she even said, that was for you, Big Dave. And Big Dave, who is he's a DJ, morning DJ, doing the morning show during rush hour, he just went on and on about that. And he was talking about Miranda Lambert on social media and had people calling in talking about it. And he was so excited. He just was blown away that Miranda Lambert, the big country music singer, did what he requested and then gave him a shout out from the stage. Now, why is that important? Let's break that down. Miranda Lambert's pretty brilliant, because what she did was she promoted Big Dave. Big Dave is the guy in the Cincinnati area that hundreds of thousands of people listen to. And she promoted Big Dave. She said, this one's for you, Big Dave. She sang the song that he wanted. So how can you apply this in your business? And let's talk about the principles behind this. My number one strategy, if you want to grow your network, if you want to go into a new sector, if you want to go into a new geography, whatever it is, if you want to do business development, it is to promote other people. What am I talking about? Why promote other people? Here's what this looks like. Let me give you a couple of examples. Let's say you are a subcontractor and you want to do more work for a handful of specific general contractors. Or maybe you're a general contractor and you're doing a lot of public work and you want to do more private negotiated commercial work. Or maybe you're a residential contractor and you want to break into commercial for a variety of reasons. Then here's what this looks like. So let's say you are a residential contractor, or you're a general contractor, and you want to get into the holy grail of commercial work, which is private negotiated work. It doesn't show up on bid boards. You can't get it from Dodge reports or other bid services. It's really based on relationships. These things, they're off the grid. They're off the radar, but you see them happening all the time. But maybe you see a sign pop up for a dentist office or a chiropractor's office, and you're like, I never even saw that. Where are these projects coming from? I didn't even get an opportunity. I didn't even get a shot. Then, well, it's true. These sort of deals come about not under the table, but off the radar because they're private, and it's really based on relationships. So here's the strategy that I advise my clients to use if they want to get into private commercial work. All right. So first of all, what we want to do is you have a couple of options. You could go try to find the clients. You could go try to find the chiropractor, the doctor, the dentist, the business owner who just happens to be building a project sometime in the next year. Or you could find a referral partner. And what is a referral partner? Well, the characteristics of a referral partner are they have access to a lot of deals with your ideal clients. They are also actively doing business development to bring more deals to the table, and they need a relationship with someone like you. All right? So if you're a general contractor and you want to do private negotiated commercial work, the number one referral partner type, in my experience, would be a commercial real estate broker. Why? Because they meet all of the characteristics of an ideal referral partner. They have lots of deal flow. They are constantly going after new leases. They have tenants or clients of theirs who are renewing leases. Both of those types of deals often have some sort of tenant improvement or TI, fit out work associated with it. And they're actively pursuing projects. They're doing their own business development, spending a lot of money on business development, and having a relationship with you, a good quality, communicative, professional contractor who over-delivers, is extremely valuable to a broker. It's high value for a broker to have a good contractor in their back pocket. So that's what a referral partner looks like. So think about this. Think about if you had relationships with just a handful of, if you're a commercial GC, if you had a handful of relationships with active commercial brokers. Think about the deal flow that you would get a look at. I'm telling you, I've seen it. I've been involved with organizations that saw somewhere north of $100 million worth of deals come through one single commercial broker. They are absolute rainmakers. And when you can get connected with and develop relationships with and develop trust with a good commercial broker, they'll send you lots and lots of work. That can be your only business development strategy. So how do you promote this referral partner? Let me run through this pretty briefly, but it's really about promotion. It's about promoting them. All right. This is not about promoting you. This is a very common mistake. Some people get the idea like, oh yeah, I need to find good referral partners. All right, I got a list of commercial brokers. I'm going to call them and I'm going to say, hey, you got any projects for me to bid? And that is not a great strategy. Let me give you a strategy that works better. Your job is to promote them out of the gate. Promote them. So what this means is, let's say whatever city you're in, you would come up with a list of the commercial real estate brokers doing the kind of projects, doing the kind of deals with the kind of clients you want to work with. And then you'll go connect with them on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. If you're going after commercial brokers, LinkedIn is a great place to go. We'll talk about Instagram in a few minutes. Connect with them on LinkedIn. Follow them on LinkedIn. Then start to promote them. What do I mean by promote them? Well, here's a couple of things you can do. One, if they are active on LinkedIn, then comment on their posts. Comment with something meaningful. hey, I really like this idea, or that's a really cool property, or something meaningful. Promote them. Don't talk about you. You're not going to talk about you for a few steps, all right? Another great strategy would be, if you're on LinkedIn or social media, go take a picture of a property that broker is listing and then post it on LinkedIn. Tag them in that post. Make sure that it shows up in their notifications. And you could say something like, hey, this is a great property over on the corner of First and Main. It's listed by John Smith and you're going to tag John Smith to make sure John gets notified with ABC brokers. Make sure and tag them so they get notified. And great property, whatever. Talk about the property. Again, we're not talking about you at all. You do that for a few times. If you happen to find where they were referenced or quoted in an article, or they're in some trade magazine, whatever, share that, promote them. Okay? You do that a few times, and then just imagine what happens on the other end. What happens when somebody tags you in something and they are speaking positively about it? Feels pretty good, right? And then what are you going to do with it? You're probably going to share it. Yeah, I'll share that. Somebody's giving me some free promotion. I'm going to share that. Look, this guy thinks that we've got a great property. This guy liked what I had to say in this trade magazine. You're promoting them. Then you do that a few times, and then you reach out to them with a request for maybe a phone call. Hey, just like to catch up, learn more about what you're up to and how we might be able to add value. And then when you get to the phone call, you make the phone call all about them. Ask them what sort of struggles they're having with contractors. What sort of challenges are they having? What do they need help with? Etc. But at no point yet have we talked about you at all. And if you do this right, they will want to help you out. Because here's what's going on behind the scenes. There's a psychological tendency called reciprocity. We have a strong desire to reciprocate. When someone does something nice for us, and they do something nice again and again and again, we have this internal need to reciprocate and do something nice for that person. And what that could potentially look like for you is, hey, here's an opportunity on a project, or hey, maybe the timing is just right and they're having trouble finding somebody to bid on a project, and you are right there top of mind. So that's the strategy. Find referral partners first of all, and then promote them to develop a relationship with them. So a few other types of referral partners would be, let's say, if you're a subcontractor or you're a material supplier, go find general contractors. Architects can be good referral partners. Brokers, interior designers, if you're doing painting or custom woodworking or flooring or furniture installation, then interior designers could be the way to go. So this works on LinkedIn. The same strategy works on Facebook, Instagram. You might find if interior designers are really your ideal referral partner, then they're probably going to be on Instagram. Go like their photos. Go comment on their photos. Comment meaningfully. Hey, I really like that detail. Or ask questions. Engage with them. Promote them and engage with them, and then watch what happens. And speaking of which, I am currently in a campaign of promotion because there's a specific guest I would love to get on the podcast. And if you could help me out with this would be amazing. I want to get Leif Babin or Jocko Willink, the authors of the books, Extreme Ownership and also The Dichotomy of Leadership. I want to get those guys on the podcast. So if I am actively in a campaign of promoting their stuff, one, because I think it's amazing. Everybody needs to see it. Everybody needs to hear it. Everybody needs to live it. But I also want to get them on the podcast. So I'm actively promoting their stuff. So if you could do me a favor, if you could promote them on LinkedIn and Facebook, if you follow their stuff, say, hey, Jocko, hey, Leif, you really need to be on the Construction Leading Edge podcast. I would love to hear your thoughts about how to apply these principles to the construction industry, but promote them. So help me help you, all right? Let's promote these guys and get them on the podcast, because I would love to have a conversation about their learnings and their principles and strategies and how it applies to construction. Sound good? All right. And if you happen to know one of those guys, if you have a connection, if you can make an introduction, that would be super amazing. All right, so that's mindset. That's business development. Number 3, systems and processes. This is a huge one. And a couple of months ago in, I think it was July or August, I had a workshop that was out on how to systematize your construction business. That's going to be coming out again soon. So if you're like, hey, I really need to systematize my construction business, then here's what you need to do. Go to constructionbusinessaccelerator.com and get on the wait list. I'm going to be releasing some more videos about how to systematize your construction business in the near future. And when you go to constructionbusinessaccelerator.com and sign up for the wait list, you'll get notified when those videos are going to be out so you can get those. And it's an hour and a half or so of content spread out over 3 or 4 videos, and it's really going to help you. But let's talk about systems and processes. A couple of things, really two main things I want to share, because this is such a huge topic. I talk about it so much in the Construction Business Accelerator program. I talk about it a lot with my coaching clients. But 2 things I want to share with you to get started. 2 main things. First of all, wherever you're having chaos in your business, start by doing something really simple. Just map it out, all right? Map out the process and establish roles and responsibilities. So if there is a particular process, let's say something that everybody does, estimating and bidding, okay? Whether it's just you, maybe you have somebody that helps you with estimating and bidding, but even if it's just you, take a few minutes, open up an Excel spreadsheet or a Google sheet or something, and go step by step. What's the first step? What are all the steps in putting together a good estimate? If you're doing commercial work, maybe one of the first things you need to do is request a bid bond. Those things take a little bit of time. Maybe you need to get plans printed. I don't know. But whatever your process is, it's pretty much the same every time, right? So why not just map it out? You know, that's what airline pilots do. They have checklists. And yeah, these guys and gals fly. They make 2 or 3 flights a day in some cases. So what if they were to say, yeah, we do this all the time. You know, we know what we're doing. Don't you feel a lot better knowing that your pilot is doing a pre-flight checklist? Doesn't it give you a sense of comfort to see the pilot like walking around, checking things out? Yeah, there's a good reason that they do that, because it works. So my advice is do the same thing. Come up with a checklist for your processes, step by step, even if it's just for you. But if you have multiple people working on something, then add a couple of columns to that list of who is responsible for it, and then put them in order. Make it really simple. Let's take all of the guesswork and all of the creativity out of it and just come up with a formula that you follow, right? Remember way back in math class when you did algebra or trigonometry, there's a step-by-step process that you need to follow. This takes a lot of the creativity out of it, but it also gives you a lot more consistent results. So just map it out step by step. What are all the steps in this process? And then who's responsible for each step? And then maybe even go as far as to have a place where people can check off when it was completed, a place to have notes about it. This is extremely helpful, especially if you're bidding multiple projects at the same time. But the same approach applies to pretty much any process. You name it, just whatever you're doing, just map it out, clearly establish rules and responsibilities, and then communicate that out to your team. And then the second thing that I think is extraordinarily helpful is to find a home for all of your systems and processes. Ask yourself this question. Where will all of this stuff live? Is it going to live right now? It probably lives in your head or the heads of other people in your team. But what if you could have all of your systems and processes and permit applications and templates and manuals and best practices in one place, and all of this information was available to everybody on your team? Wouldn't that be nice? Well, that's a great place to do it. It's a great strategy. So that, imagine if somebody has a question, you bring on a new employee, and they need to know, well, where's the company handbook, or where's this document that I need to download, or where's the company directory? And you had one place you could send them online that could be updated and be available in real time. Wouldn't that be nice? And one of the best ways I've seen to do this was by Spencer Padgett. He was on the podcast back on episode 110, and every chance I get, I remind him that he paid $40,000 for a Snickers bar. And if you haven't listened to that story, that's a great story, back on episode 110. But Spencer Padgett is the builder in residence at CoConstruct, and CoConstruct is a project management software specifically designed for builders and remodelers. It's also great for commercial contractors as well, and subcontractors. But I went to the CoCamp, which is a 2-day training event for CoConstruct, and I was already pretty impressed with CoConstruct, but at CoCamp, Spencer Padgett talked about what he calls the admin project, and it's a way of creating a company-wide project inside CoConstruct. And he showed how, when he was running a custom home building business, he used CoConstruct to track and house all of the information, all the systems and processes, all the way down to building permit applications for specific municipalities. What are the steps and contacts for the utility companies that they worked with? Schedule templates, company directory. It was the central repository for all information, and it was all in one place, and super easy to find, super easy to update. If somebody went to the admin project to get something, they were guaranteed to get the latest and greatest version. There were no obsolete versions out there. It is a beautiful thing. And actually, I've asked Spencer to come teach us how to do that at the next advance in October in Kentucky. I was just blown away. I was like, this is beautiful, because I had been looking for a way to create this repository for training information and templates and schedules and checklists and process documents. And his admin project concept is beautiful. I've never seen anybody do this before, but it's incredibly powerful, and who knows how much money it saves. But Spencer's going to be teaching that, as well as a few other things, at the Advance in Lexington in October. So that alone, I told people, if you have the opportunity to go to CoCamp to learn about CoConstruct, learning about the admin project from Spencer is worth the cost of admission. All right? And it'll be worth the cost of admission to you to come to the Advance and learn about that, as well as all the other stuff that you're going to get out of it. So there you go. That's the Q&A. That answers the question of what can I do practically to improve my mindset. Number 2, what can I do if I want to build my network and I want to break into a new market? You can promote referral partners. And then how do I get started with systems and processes? Step 1 there is just map it out. Simple step-by-step process with roles and responsibilities. And then figure out where's all this stuff going to live. Create an admin project. So there you go. Hopefully that was helpful. If you have questions that you would like me to answer on the podcast, then send them to me. Todd@constructionleadingedge.com. And don't forget, if you want to get the communication on your projects and in your team under control, one of the best ways to do that, if you're looking for a super simple, super economical solution, is FieldChat. Just go to fieldchat.com/edge and get your 15% off account, maybe even get it for free. And then be sure to check out the Advance, okay? This is this is the best thing I can do for you. All right? I've got the podcast, which is good, the Construction Business Accelerator program, which is even better. My coaching program is even better than that. But I am convinced that the absolute best thing I can do for you as a construction business owner is the advance. So go to constructionbusinessaccelerator.com/advance to get all those details. And if you can only remember one thing, and you want some information, but you're like, I'm driving, or I'm on the lawnmower, or I'm about to kill somebody I'm driving a forklift, then don't kill anybody on the forklift. Okay, just send me a text to this number, 859-667-2015. Let me know what you're looking for. If it's the advance, if you want information on Co-Construct, I can make some introductions there. If you want information about systems or the Construction Business Accelerator, and if that's the best way for you to communicate, hey, send Uncle Todd a text, 859-667-2015, and I will hook you up the best that I know how to. As always, thank you for the ratings and the reviews. If you could go to iTunes and leave a rating and a review, that helps get the word out there to the rest of the interwebs. And if you could share this podcast with somebody you think would get some value out of it. I'm on a mission right now to get these 130-some episodes out in front of as many people as possible, because there are some amazing stories that have been shared on the podcast, incredible wisdom, and we need to get it out there in front of as many people, and I could use your help doing that. So thank you so much for listening. Let me know how I can help, and I will see you next time.